My next guest is President and CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, has more than 20 years of experience, served as President and CEO of the Asian American Hotel Owners, the largest U.S. hotel owners since 2014. Please welcome to the program, Chip Rogers. Chip, how are you?
Larry.
How are you, Chip?
Good to be with you.
Chip, obviously, this has taken a sledgehammer to your business. Talk to me about the effect of all these shutdowns.
So we estimate right now across the U.S. about half the hotels are shut down, and the other half are operating with a very limited number of staff members.
Wow.
As late as March the 13th, the average resort, and I'm using resorts as a good example, but the average resort in the U.S. Was employing about 90 people, and that was just back on March 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Today, those same resorts are employing about 5 people.
Unreal.
So that gives you a good indication.
Chip, that's unreal. Describe your organization. What do you guys do?
So we represent the entire hotel industry. So every hotel brand, independents, small hotels, large hotels, resorts, pretty much everybody.
Wow. And what are you hearing?
Devastation.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 7 times worse economically than what we faced post 9/11. And the problem is
wait, Chip, back up. 7 times worse?
7 times worse of an economic hit.
Wow.
And the reason is because the hotel industry is built on 3 types of consumers. You have leisure travelers, which are on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You have business travelers, and then you have people that are attending meetings and conferences and conventions. And never before have we had all 3 of them shut down at one time for an extended period. So the occupancy rate in the U.S. is typically around 67% over the last 3 years. Right now, occupancy is less than 20%, and in some places, it's in the single digits.
I'm talking to Chip Rogers. He's president and CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association. All right, give me the top 3 problems you guys are facing. Obviously, the main one, of course, is the shutdown of the American economy. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, that's it really, because we employ as an industry 8.3 million people. We estimate about 75% of those folks are not working right now. And so you have millions and millions of employees who've got to feed their families. But perhaps even the bigger problem is you've got all these small business owners, and our industry is made up of tens of thousands of small hotel owners. Mm-hmm. And they've got to pay their debt. They've got to service their debt. And if they don't, then those folks that don't have a job right now won't have a job to come back to because they'll be out of business.
Chip, assuming everything opened back up, would you be able to get back all of your employees, or have they gone and done something else?
Obviously, some are moving on.
Right.
Some won't have a job to come back to. There will be some hotels that don't make it. It depends on how long this lasts. But we're sure hoping, because it's a great industry, and we love our folks. You know, a month ago, Larry, we were talking about the fact that we had 900,000 job openings across the U.S. that we couldn't fill. Today, we have about 4 or 5 million people that are out of a job.
Chip, talk to me about how the coronavirus stimulus bill is going to affect you. Access to credit, access to capital?
Well, it's helping, but more is needed. And we certainly don't want to sound greedy. We're very, very thankful. But the reality is when the government comes in and says everything is shut down, there was a great article recently that was talking about this is almost like a takings issue, right? Because the government has decided to shut down all the businesses. And so we have no customers, even if we wanted those customers. And so, the businesses right now can't survive. If this goes on for 2 more months, I'm not sure how anyone will open back up.
My guest is Chip Rogers, President and CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association. Chip, how well do you think our government leaders, including especially President Trump, has done in responding to this pandemic?
Look, the reality is we've never seen anything like this before. So it's very difficult to judge people on a performance when we've never experienced anything like this. I think they're doing the best they can. I think everybody wants to solve this problem. I'm not going to cast stones at anyone. I will say this, even the legislation that passed, though it needs some correction, we need to think about the fact that they just passed the largest spending measure that has ever been passed by any government in the history of mankind, and they did it in about 7 days. And now they're trying to use a banking system that has never tried to distribute this amount of money in this short period of time to make this happen. That's not easy. We don't blame them. I mean, there are going to be problems. We just want to work through those problems as quickly as possible. So we're looking for solutions, and we certainly don't want to blame anybody, but I think the government on both sides of the aisle, they're doing a pretty good job.
What more should be done, should the government do, Chip? We have about a minute left. What more do you want Congress, the president, to do?
Here's what I would say that we really need to understand. So they understood that the $1,200 check should not go to everybody because some people need that money. Other people are doing okay. And we get that. That's the way it should be. The problem is with the business funding is that they've made it across the board so that every business qualifies. But the reality is if you're selling hand sanitizer right now, or if you're selling other sorts of things, you're making pretty good money. There are industries like ours, like the airline industry, like anybody in entertainment and restaurants that are just getting crushed. So we would hope that the next bill looks at those industries that are affected the most and make sure you're helping out those industries first.
My guest has been Chip Rogers. He's president and CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association.